Welcome to the webinar. You have entered as an attendee in listen-only mode.
Here only we are going to write our application logic. Bean class. Inside the beans only we are going to write our application logic. Next one is, after that, create a Spring configuration file. Create a Spring configuration file. Create a Spring configuration file. After creating that Spring configuration file, create a test application in order to execute Spring applications. Create test application in order to execute Spring application. Whatever the application we prepared there, that Spring application here we want to perform. Right, sir. Create test application to prepare Spring application. That's it, guys. So first one is what we required there. JDK 1.17 is required. Download and install Eclipse IDE. Create Java project in Eclipse IDE. Download all Spring jar files and add the required jar files to Java project. Next one is create a bean, create a Spring configuration file, create a test app in order to execute the Spring application. That's it, guys. Now these are the various steps here we have to follow. Now let us see one by one all the steps here. Now, JDK is already existed in my system, I think so. I'm not going to show how to download and install JDK software. Already aware about it. Let me use that. Which is JDK here I'm using there? What is that JDK here we are using there? Java C 17.0.4. That's okay. In my system, Java requirement is satisfied. Okay, now leave this one. Next one is, after that, after completion of this, what I need to do there? I need to download and install Eclipse IDE or not. Let me download that Eclipse IDE here. I don't have Eclipse IDE as of now in my system. It might be existed some other system there. Anyway, no issues. Let me download this Eclipse IDE. Eclipse download. Right, sir. Now this is like what I'm doing there. Eclipse download. That means Eclipse downloads. Click on new tab. Right, sir. Click on new tab. Get the Eclipse IDE 2022-06. Get the Eclipse IDE 2022-06. That's okay. But observe carefully. If I click on this download button, no, setup file will be downloaded. Only setup file. If I execute that setup file in my system, then only that IDE, that means that respective IDE will come. Get my point or not? But not required to install anything in this particular context. No, where there is a part download, bottom download packages part is available. This is like what are the packages? Click on this packages part. Click on this packages part. Then after click on this packages part, here we are getting number of links for downloadable links now. Eclipse IDE for Java developers. That is up to core Java programming only. Eclipse IDE for enterprise Java and web developers. This is for web application development and as well as what name? Enterprise application development. Then which one is suitable for me? Second one is right one. Then here I need to click on it. But here operating system wise here we have to select the IDEs. Windows 86 and 64. 64 is available, no problem. Now let me click on this particular link. If we click on this particular link, now it is asking about the download option here now. Select the download, might be some information here. Now click on this Eclipse JEE 2022-06R Win32. Select this link here. Now automatically the download is going to be happen. It's going to be downloaded. Okay, no problem. My internet is somewhat fast. Then we are able to complete it in a few seconds of time. Just wait for it. 495 MB is available. 495 MB. Right, yeah. So one more thing I'm telling to you, for the sake of our application development, try to use all the latest versions. I will check the compatibility also. If it is compatible, then definitely we can start to use these latest versions there. Whatever it may be, whatever the IDE we want to use, that is totally related to you. You can use any type of IDE, no issues. Exactly the same versions are different versions in the sense You can understand the different versions, not exactly the same version here. If you use the same version, also be no issues. Finally, you have to understand the content. Right, sir. Now, just wait 1 or 2 minutes of time, then it will be completed. Once it is completed, then we are going to use this. Okay. Almost all 200 MB is completed. Now, at the same time, what I required here, this is Eclipse ID where we are preparing on. That's okay. Then I can prepare the Java project. Okay. Then after that, we need to add that Spring jar files to us or not. Here we need to add what there Spring jar files. Right, sir. Let it complete. Let it complete. Then I will show how to download the Spring jar files also. Previously, we followed one approach. I think so. In the material, the same previous approach is available, but that process is a little bit changed. The process would be changed a little bit now. So I will show how to download, how to get download of these Spring related jar files. No, try to observe this. Let it complete that. Then once it is completed, then I will start how to download, how to use the Spring framework related jar files. And apart from this, see, Apache Tomcat is a product. Their setup file is available. If you download setup file, then directly you can execute that setup file. Automatically Apache Tomcat will be installed in our system. Get my point or not? So Apache server, Apache Tomcat is a server. BAA WebLogic is also a server. BA WebLogic is also a server. So we are able to get that BA WebLogic in the form of a setup file. If we execute that setup file, then only the respective software, software is going to be installed here. If we are having setup files, for example, in some other situation, setup files may not be existed. Directly distribution will come. Installed distribution we are getting there. After installation, whatever the folder structure we are getting, no, that folder structure directly they are trying to share. That folder structure we are able to use. Anyway, now let me check this, guys. Now already I downloaded this particular one. I want to cut it. Then I'll go for E drive, softwares. Now inside this, then what I want to do there, I need to go for IDEs. Inside these IDEs, I want to prepare Eclipse IDE. Inside this Eclipse IDE, I want to store this. Okay, I want to keep my softwares in a particular location anyway. That's okay. Now apart from this, let me copy this. Let me keep this total IDE port inside like what they know, C drive. Completed. That is provided. That means the jar file is available here. So if I extract this jar file now, extract here. If I extract this jar file here, automatically no problem. I'm trying to extract this jar file. That means this total Eclipse ID under C drive. No, once it is completed, then we are able to get that Eclipse folder. Here we are getting that Eclipse folder anyway. Let me check it. Just wait for that. Previously, I think so. Eclipse ID might be existed. Now it is asking about overriding. Yeah, it's okay, guys. Now, Eclipse IDE is installed. Then where we are able to get these many things. No, here Eclipse icon is available. If we double click on this icon here, automatically we are able to get the Eclipse IDE 2022-06. Maybe like 2 months back might be 06. That month only this was released there. Then better to use this latest version only. And people are asking about to do projects, to work with this Springboard microservices. Now, how much RAM is required in our systems? No specific configuration for it. Minimum 8 GB. And if you are having 16 GB, then that will be good. Well and good. In my system, it was 20 GB RAM I'm using. Okay, then operations will be fast. All right, sir. Almost all. Now here we are able to get this Eclipse IDE. Once it is open, then we are able to prepare any type of application there. No need to worry for this. Now let me check this. Once it is open, then we are able to work with this. And moreover, these total steps we are going to follow only one time, not every time here. One time only I'm going to discuss about all these things. Next time onwards, directly I'm going to prepare the projects only. So now tell me first, up to now, what we have done there? Up to now, just we downloaded Eclipse IDE from internet, and in the form of zip file, we are getting that Eclipse IDE that we unzipped, then we extracted that Eclipse IDE here. After that, we started this Eclipse IDE. Now, first time only it is taking much time here. Now it is in the process of opening that Eclipse IDE. Wait for it. Once it is completed, then we will start. That's it. I think so. First time it might be taking some time here. Next onwards. Okay. Now, observe carefully. Whenever we are getting this Eclipse IDE, you know already the points now. We need to prepare workspace. Then where we want to prepare all of your application, there one workspace is required. Anyway, we have our original location in my system there, d:/frameworks. Inside the frameworks, then what we are having there is Spring framework. Spring framework. Now inside this Spring framework, just I want to say like what there, Eclipse apps. That's a workspace here I'm going to create. No, now here what we have to do there, select a folder. Now just I created Eclipse apps. All right, sir. D frameworks Spring Eclipse apps. Click on launch. Automatically that Eclipse ID will be launched. Whenever it is coming there, then we can start preparing the programs. Easily we can execute the programs now. I think you already aware about these steps now. Then how to open that Eclipse ID and how to work with the Eclipse ID, all the things here we aware already. All right, sir. Now here my requirement is what? I want to create a project. To create a project, then what we have to do there? Simply create a project. We have to select where which project we want to create there. Java project I want to create, select it, click on next button. Now here it is asking about project details. First one, what we have to provide there, project name. Then what is this project name here? ABP01. For example, I'm going to prepare that. Java version is Java SE 17 or something else here we can provide there. All right, sir. Everything is okay, and click on next button. No need to provide anything here. Click on finish button. All right, sir. Don't create module. Module is not required. Open perspective. So this is common process only. How to use that Eclipse ID that I'm telling to you. Now here, if you observe carefully, if you observe clearly, ABP01 JARE system library, Java SE 17 and SRC we are having. This is about our Spring application. This is about our normal Java project that what we created. Okay, fine. But my requirement is this is normal Java program only. But I want to make this normal Java application into Spring application. I want to make this normal Java project into Spring project. When a normal Java project is becoming as a Spring project, no. When we provide a Spring environment inside the normal Java project, no, automatically that project is acting as what? No, Spring application. But what is the meaning of providing Spring environment here? No, the Spring environment we are able to provide by adding Spring framework jar files to our library. If we add Spring framework jar files to our library, automatically this project is converted to Spring project. But if you want to add jar files to our project, first you have to download the jar files or not? First you have to download the jar files from internet. Then after that only we have to add that jar files to our Spring project. Then how we are able to download this? Guys, all of you observe carefully. I want to download the Spring jar files. So just let us Google it. Now here I specified previously Eclipse downloads. No, now this time I want to provide Spring 5 downloads. Spring 5 downloads. A repo, whether you are using or not, that doesn't matter. Spring 5 downloads. Right, sir. Whenever we are trying to download the Spring 5 downloads, no, here we are able to get some different downloadable things here we are getting there, but not required all of them. 1 minute, wait. A repo. One type of repository is existed previously, repo. Now observe guys, then what we have to open there, Spring 5 download repo, where https://repo.spring.io. What's that URL we have to use there? That URL should be like what there, https://repo.spring.io. That we have to open there. Open a new tab. Here we are getting like what the JFrog. In a DevOps mode, this is one of the tool here. JFrog UI we are using there. There, I think so here, this is in black color, but I can specify the information to you. Try to observe this clearly. Here, at which place there no artifactory part is available. Artifactory part is available. Then after this artifactory, properties, builds, and artifacts. Three things are available. What three things you know? First one is what their packages. Next one is what their builds. Next one is what their artifacts. Three things are available. You have to select artifacts. Better to select what they know, artifacts. Under this artifactory, three things are available: packages, builds, artifacts. Click on artifacts. Click on artifacts. Whenever we click on these artifacts now, automatically a number of artifacts are created, available artifacts here we are getting. Now here what we have to do there, from this we have to select, what we have to select there, simply libs-release, where what we have to select there, no, libs-release. In the material, this process is not available. This is newly implemented one. That might be somewhat older content I given in the material there, but this is exactly at present we are using now. Libs-release, that we have to select. Now let me select this libs-release here now. Whenever we are selecting that libs-release now, automatically here we are getting some data. Right, sir. 1 minute. Right, sir. Here we are getting some data. Observe carefully. Whenever we select this libs release, no, here we are getting some data where we can identify URL to file that we are getting there. A separate URL is available here. Whenever we click on this libs release, no, then automatically here we are able to open that libs release here, where we are able to get URL to file. URL to file option is available. Just select this one. Directly you can select it one. This is accessible. Directly we can select this here. Whenever we are selecting this, automatically, again here, what we are able to get there, now we are able to get the repository kind of things now. Here we are able to get all the repository related things. Okay, here we are able to get what there, repository related things. Now observe carefully. Repository related things are existed now. Okay. In this repository related things, cglib, com, and all the things are existed here. Okay, now we have to select org. We have to select what there, org. Insert this org, what we have to select there now? Tell me. Different things are available here, Gradle, Hibernate, and all. Now here we need to select what, Spring Framework or not. What we require there, Spring Framework. Select Spring Framework. If I select the Spring framework, there what we are able to get there, if we scroll down, there we are able to get Spring Arg Spring framework. There what we have to select then a Spring. Select that Spring. If we select that Spring, here we are able to have versions, Spring versions here we are able to have. Right, sir. Which version of the Spring framework here we are trying to use there? I'm trying to use the very latest version of the Spring framework. What is the very latest version of the Spring framework I'm trying to use there now? 5.3.9, 5.3.9 that I want to use. Select it. If I select it, there we are able to get the distributions for downloading now. What distributions here we require there? Right, now here, Spring 5.3.9 hyphen dist.zip is available. Next one is a docs, schema, and some other things are available. We don't require all of them, just we require only the first one. Distribution we required. Spring 5.3.9 hyphen dist.zip, that's what we required there. Click on this. If we click on this, automatically it's going to be downloaded. Now downloading is starting. So this is a way to download our Spring framework. Answer my point here. But maximum, I'm going to prepare the applications with Maven. Whenever we are going to work with Maven, not required to download all these jar files like this. Just we are going to provide some dependencies in our PAM file, PAM.xml file. Automatically, Maven tool will download the required jar files for us. Maven tool will add that required jar files to our project. But as of now, we are not using any Maven. At present, just we are going to prepare our applications explicitly without Maven. That's why we are downloading these jar files from internet. Okay. Right, sir. Almost all 78.6 MB. It is available. We will use this. Okay. Almost all completing. Right, sir. Now completed. Show in folder. Right. In the download parts, I can see the Spring 5.3.9 distribution. Let me cut it. I want to keep all my softwares under E drive. E drive softwares now here. IDE spot is existed here. Now inside these IDs, not IDs, no. Then here I need to go for a new folder that would be like what are their frameworks. I want to go for like what are their frameworks. Right, sir. E softwares frameworks. Now inside this framework, just I want to go for Spring framework. Inside this Spring framework, I want to keep this paste. This is existed here. Now we cannot use this distribution file as a dependency. Dependency is nothing but one jar file, but here so many jar files are existed. This is only a zip file. That's it. Okay. So finally, we are getting the zip file or not? Guys, observe carefully. Finally, we are getting zip file or not? Now here, what I will do now, I want to extract this. Right click here and extract here. Right click here and extract here. If we click on this extract here, automatically a separate folder will be created. What is this folder here? We are getting there now. Spring framework 5.3.9 folder will be created. Observe carefully. Okay, that folder is created. Whenever this folder is created here, open that folder. Inside this folder, libs folder is available. Inside this folder, what is available? Libs. Inside this libs, all the Spring related jar files are existed. Which jar files we required? Get the jar files, keep the jar files into our library, project library, then access it clearly. Yes, sir. I'll get my point or not? Okay. Now I'm telling to you, observe carefully. Up to know what jar files can we downloaded there. Spring 5.3.9 jar files we downloaded that we kept at a particular location in my system. But along with the Spring jar files, I required Apache provided Commons logging. Commons logging jar is also required. What jar files here? Commons logging. I will list out this. What are the jar files we required for basic application? I'll give you a list now. But along with all these things, I required what there? Commons logging is also required. Commons logging is also required. So let me download it. Then what we have to do there? Now here we need to go for commons-logging. latest version only here we have to download. Commons logging jar download. See, that Commons logging jar is provided by commons.apache.org. Directly Apache has provided that one. So try to open it. Okay, no issues. Just we can open it. Open a new tab. When we open in a new tab there we are able to get all the versions here we are getting there. All the versions here we are getting. Commons logging here we have a download option. Download option is available. Click on this download option. Yeah, here we are getting the download part here. Now observe carefully. Inside this download part here, Apache Commons logging 1.2 is existed. No, inside this 1.2, then what we have to get there? Commons-logging 1.2 bin.zip. Bin.zip file is required. Select it. Then automatically here it was downloaded. Download it. Now here, show in folder. I want to cut this one also. Cut it. Then E drive inside the softwares. Now get inside this. Just I want to provide like what there frameworks inside this framework. Now get I want to provide like what there. In softwares better to provide like what there new commons logging. Or else maybe it will be used mainly. It will be used mainly for Spring applications only. So inside this frameworks and Spring, there I want to provide like what there I want to paste here. Here itself I want to paste now. Then select it and right click on it. Extract here. If I extract this one, Commons logging 1.2, that folder is generated. Now inside this Commons-logging 1.2, the jar file is existed. This is also required. Finally, if you want to, then what I have done up to now? Now tell me here what I completed up to now. Downloaded and installed Eclipse IDE. Second one is what? Downloaded all Spring jar files from internet. Now supported jar file is required. That is what now Commons-logging is required. That one also I downloaded. Am I right or not? Okay. After downloading them, what we have to do? I need to add the required jar files to my Spring project or not? Java project I created. If I want to make it a Spring project, no, we need to add all the Spring jar files to the Java project or not? Then it is becoming as what now? Then it is becoming a Spring project. So, but now before that, I want to say which projects, which jar files we require. Which jar files we require. Now let me list out of these jar files. No, Spring-core version. What is the version we are using here? 5.3.9 .jar. That is what we required. This is one jar file we required. Spring-expression version .jar. Next one is Spring-expression support .jar file. We require this. Then apart from this, Spring-core is okay. Spring-expression support is okay. Then apart from this, if I see this, then I can identify this. Now just 1 minute here. Beans, I forgot it actually. Spring-beans also here we required here. Version .jar file we required. Expression version, expression support version, and AOP is not required immediately. Whenever I'm going to talk about AOP, there I require that. Context support, context, sorry, not expression, context and expression. Okay, 1 minute. All right, now here this is like what there Spring context version is required. .jar file. Context support version .jar file is required. Then apart from this, context core. As of now, beans. Next one is what their context support. Then after that, core expression. That's okay. All right, sir. Next one is like what there. Then after that, Commons-logging version .jar. These jar files we required. These many jar files we have to be added to our like what there Java project. Now it is becoming as what there? Spring project. Correct or not? Now let us add this one. Later I will show some standard approach also, but first of all, I need to add the required jar files to our Spring project. Now let me add this one. Where is my Eclipse IDE? Here we are having Eclipse IDE. Observe carefully. Then how to add these jar files? Now tell me guys. Then how to add these jar files? Now tell me. Right click on project. Right click on project. 1 minute guys. Let me go for some changes now. One minute. Okay. Right click here. Properties. Right click properties. Then here Java build path. I'm not going to prepare even a user defined library immediately. Directly I want to add jar files now. Let us take the Java build path. Now here libraries. Inside these libraries, here I have to go for like what there. Class path I have to select. Then add external jars. Click on add external jars. Go to the location where you kept all these jar files now. E drive, softwares, frameworks, Spring. Inside this Spring, first of all, I require commons logging or not. Open it. Let me add this. One thing we added there. Next one, after that, select a class path. Next one is add external jars. Then now here, we have to go for Spring. Inside the Spring framework, libs. Inside this, we have to select our required one. Beans are required, context are required, context support are required. Context, next one is context support I required. After this, core I required. Then apart from this, expression I required. Up to core module, I selected that, all of them. What I required, no, all of them I selected. Remaining things are not required. Observe carefully what I selected here: logging, context, context support, core, and expression. But where is beans? No. Right, sir. Beans is also required. That's also selected here. Beans. So all the required jar files here we provided here. Next one is click on apply, apply and close. Finish. Now here in the reference libraries we are getting all the jar files. Now tell me. Now this project is becoming as what? This project is becoming as what? Spring project. Okay, this project is becoming as what? Spring project. So all the jars we added. That means that setup we provided. Which setup we provided there? Just I prepared a Java project. I downloaded all Spring jar files from internet. The required jar files I added to my project. That's okay, fine. Next one, what steps here we require there? Then after that, create a Java project and download all Spring Boot, create a bean. Okay, fine. Up to this part we completed. Next one is what we have to do there. Next we have to prepare like what there? Bean class here we have to prepare or not? Okay, now I want to show first program output now. But theory I'm not going to discuss there, but tomorrow I will discuss about the theory. Just observe this, how to prepare the Spring applications immediately. As we started this, let me prepare that. So here, what I want to do there, I want to prepare a bean application. That means I want to prepare a small Java bean, hello bean. Hello bean I want to prepare. There, I want to prepare say hello method. That is my business method. So for that purpose, what we have to do there, right click on SRC, new package. Right click on SRC, new package. Inside this, then what we have to provide there, com dot Durga soft dot. And then here, I want to take like com dot Durga soft dot app01 dot beans. app01 is my application name. Com dot Durga soft dot app01 dot beans. Beans is a package name. Click on finish button. Right click on this beans package new, a class I want to take, Java class here I want to take. What is the class name here I want to take here? Hello bean is a class name here I want to take. Okay, hello bean is a class name, nothing else. All right, observe carefully. Here I don't require even main method and all these things. Of course, the font is not good. Just window preferences, and that's okay. Basic. Now inside this basic, text font editor, bold, and for example 18. That's okay. I think it is visible, right? Right, sir. Now inside this, just I want to take like what there, public string say hello. Then inside this, then what we have to do there, return hello user, something else. I want to display this value. I want to return this value. So this is my business method. We can observe this clearly. Okay, my bean component is ready or not? Where I don't require properties and setter methods and getter methods. Definitely I'm going to prepare them in the future. But for my requirement, just to display hello user, then to just to display hello user, I require what they know, just a say hello method is required where I'm going to return some value. That's okay. Now this part is completed. Whenever this part is completed, then what next one here we have to do there? We need to prepare Spring configuration file. Spring configuration file is required. Why? Because, listen carefully, in the case of Spring framework, we are not going to create objects for the bean components. For all these bean components, who is going to create objects now? Container is available. Container will create objects for this. But how container will aware we need to create objects for only these bean classes now? How container should know that? Container will come to the Spring configuration file for checking bean classes. If any bean class is available inside the configuration file, for them container will create object. For example, if I want to access the say hello method, object is required for this class or not? For example, I want to access this method. If I want to access this method, what should I do now? What I have to do now? I have to create object for this, then I have to call this method. That is a regular process. But in Spring, there is a condition. What is the condition? You should not create any object. As you are the developer, don't create object. For that, Spring is available. Spring will recognize all of your beans and Spring will create objects for all of your beans and Spring will provide that objects to you. Get that objects and access the methods. Understand it? How much work is very much simplified in Spring framework. If it is a core Java program, no. If you want to access this particular method, no, I have to create object for this class, then I have to access it. But if it is a Spring project, you should not create objects. Let that work to the container. Container will create object. Container will give that object to us. Then get that object, access that respective method. Simplification. Okay. But how container will create the objects now? For which classes container will create the objects now? How it is possible for us now? Right. Further, what I am telling there, to which bean classes we want to get objects, that bean classes must be configured in a separate configuration file. Spring configuration file we have to prepare. Inside the Spring configuration file, we have to prepare a configuration file. Inside this configuration file, we have to provide configuration for this hello bean class. If we provide this hello bean class configuration inside the Spring configuration file, when we activate container, container will come to the Spring configuration file. Container's name, container will create that bean class object, and a container will provide that bean object to do our respective application. Got my point or not? So in the bean configuration file, we need to provide our configurations or not. Say for example, servlet applications, you know. Who is creating servlet object now? Tell me. Developer is creating or internally servlet container is creating servlet object. Servlet container. How does servlet container knows about the servlet class now? How servlet container aware about the servlet classes now? For which servlet class it has to create object? How servlet container knows about it? That we have to configure that servlet class name inside the web.xml file or not? Container will come to web.xml file. Container where it will check servlet class name. Further only it is creating object or not? Same scenario is available here. If container wants to create object for any bean class, no, container will come to the Spring configuration file where it will check for the Spring class, respective Spring class, bean class. If any bean class is identified, container will take that bean class. Container will create object for the respective bean class. So we need to configure this bean class inside the configuration file or not? In order to give information to the container about to create an object for the respective bean class. So definitely we have to configure this bean class inside the configuration file. How we are able to configure this bean class inside the Spring configuration file? So first of all, we need to take XML file. Multiple options are available for providing these configurations, no? But later I will discuss about all these things. First of all, let me prepare like what there. I need to prepare configuration file. Now try to understand this clearly. Guys, just give a minute of time. Let me check it. I think it is not visible properly for you. 1 minute, just give a minute of time. Okay, later I will check for it. And okay, some other settings I will provide it. Tree and table font. That's okay. Okay, fine. Not good. Okay. Right, sir. That's okay, fine. Now, here I need to prepare like what no configuration file, Spring configuration file. Right click on it and new. I need to prepare a package. What package here I want to prepare there? Observe carefully. Com dot Durga soft dot abb01 dot config. What is the package name I'm going to take? No config. Com dot Durga soft dot abb01 dot config. Click on finish button. Now here we are getting like what there a package here we are getting. Right click on it, new. I need to take an XML file. Here I have to take like what there other here we have to select no. Now here we need to go for like what there XML file here we need to get. Here we have to select XML. Select XML where XML is existed. XML file is available. Click on next button. Yeah, next button. If we click on next button, it is asking about file name. What is that file name here I am going to provide? We can use any file name, no issues for it. But what is that file name here I want to provide there now? Springconfig.xml. Springconfig.xml that I want to use. Click on next button. Not happy. Okay, now here we are getting Spring config.xml. What happens, sir? Huh? Extraction? TXT. Why? XML file only. Spring config XML. If it take, then only we can do this. Otherwise, do one thing. I need to go for it. I think the package I have taken, and it may not be allowed that package. No, actually, it has to allow that package also. See what I am telling to you. Either we can take package or we can take source folder also. Source folders, if we take, then it will be okay. But let me try with the package first of all. Why? Because, say for example, your source folders are existed here. If I take the source folders, no, then what we are able to get there, what we have to use there. Now here we have to use com/Durga soft slash what next one get then after that com/Durga soft slash app01 slash next one is config. This is like what their source folders only. Then after that, here we have to take like what their XML. Right now here I need to go for like what their XML. Here we have to specify XML file. Next button. Okay. TXT file. Why it is taking TXT file here? Okay. Now this is like what I'm telling to you. Spring config.xml. TXT in the sense what it is creating? No, yeah. XML only. Okay, leave it, no problem. Let me take a file, normal file. Okay, like a file here we are getting now. No, here it is not created properly. Something is wrong. Wait a minute of time. No. Wait, sir. Let me check this. com.durgasoft.app01.config. It has to open XML actually. What is the problem with this? File name. It is asking the text file it is taking. No. Anyway, spring-config.xml. Okay. Don't worry. Then I have my file there already. Let me copy this. Let me check it. As part of my practice might be previously maybe with 01. Not existed here also. So why it is not allowing? This is a problem. Program is okay. So we don't have any other option. Then we have to select XML file only. Not here. Even directly here we can prepare this. File if we take no, the Eclipse ID is not giving. 1 minute. Why it is taking txt file? Okay. Any name we can use. It is not mandated to use the same thing. Spring config dot. Even the txt file is also not taking. Problem with Eclipse ID, I think so. Cancel is also not working. 1 minute. Windows is because of these fonts, no? Yeah, just wait a minute of time. Wait. Let me open it. I think already I had that XML file. Let me copy and paste that XML file. No, today just I want to show that output only. Then tomorrow again I'll give the total steps once again. I'll prepare that. First day we have to complete this example. That's why I'm thinking about it. Now here in SRC there's a folder here. I want to paste this. Spring config.xml. I had already that XML file. No problem. Right. So now observe carefully. Already I prepared this. Now let me explain this. I think the Eclipse ID problem is going on. I'll set it on tomorrow anyway. Now try to observe this carefully. Now here, beans tag is available. How to get this particular one from our documents, I will show to you. How to get this XSD also, I will show to you. Beans tag. Inside this beans tag, only this tag only I prepared now. What is the tag here? Bean ID is equal to hello bean. It is a logical name, identity. But class is what? com.durgasoft dot. What is that class name here we provide there? com.durgasoft dot abb01 dot beans. abb01 dot beans. Then what that name here now? Hello bean. Bean class name is what there? Hello bean. That's okay. Now this is my configuration file, Spring configuration file. See, this total thing we are able to get as a predefined, but only this one we are writing. For example, if you are writing in my program, only one bean class I have written. One bean class in instance, only one bean tag here we have to configure. For example, 10 beans if I provide now, 10 configurations we have to provide. For every bean, we have to provide the configuration now. Okay, now observe this clearly. Next one is after that we completed this. Now I need to prepare a test application. Client application or test application. Why? Because we have to create the container. To that container, we have to provide that configuration file. Container will read the configuration from configuration file. It will create bean objects. That bean objects we are going to use in our application. So here we need to prepare test application. To prepare this test application, what I will do, right click on SRC, new package. What is this package I'm going to use there? com.durgasoft dot abb01 dot Then what next one here I want to provide the test. Right, sir. Now right click on this test package, new. Here I want to go for a class. What class here I want to take? The test is a class name where I required main method. Main method is also required. Try to select that main method. Click on finish button. Now here main class and main method is created. Now inside this main class and main method, what I'm going to do there? First of all, I need to create what I have to create there. No, that means container I need to create. We have to create container. I'm going to use application context container. Two types of containers are available in Spring Framework: Bean Factory and application context. Application context is a regular. Bean Factory is somewhat outdated. So let me use that application context. Application context. Application context is equal to new class path XML application context. Class path XML application context. Now, to this container, I need to specify the configuration file name and location. Where is my configuration file actually? Com slash in the form of string. We have to provide this. Now here we have to provide com slash Durga soft slash ABB01 slash config. Now inside this, what is the name I provided there? Spring config dot XML. Spring config dot XML. That we are getting clearly. Application context is equal to new class path XML application context com slash Durga soft slash ABB01 slash config slash spring config dot XML. That we have to prepare now. Okay. Finally, application context object is created. What this application context will do now? It will go to the location of the Spring configuration file. It will read all the bean configuration from Spring configuration file. For each and every bean, it will create an object. For each and every bean, it will create an object. Okay, fine. Whenever it is creating object, now object is ready or not? The bean object is ready or not? Inside the container, this application context is acting as a container. Inside this, that bean object, allow bean object is available or not? Now I want to get that allow bean object. That's why here what we have to do there, allow bean is equal to, then what we have to do now, that hello bean object is available inside the application context object with the logical name is what now? Hello bean. With the logical name is what now? Hello bean. On the basis of this name only, we have to search for bean object now. So here what we have to do there, now here we have to go for context dot get bean method is available. There we have to provide logical name. What is the logical name here? We have to provide there hello bean. Now here typecasting is required. It will return directly in the form of object, but that object value must be converted to hello bean. Now we are getting hello bean object. Now here what we are doing now, string message is equal to hello bean dot say hello method. Then we can display that message. System.out.println of message. That's it. Automatically if I execute this, here we are able to get some output. Now let me execute this now. To execute this, here we have an execute button. Button is available now. Directly click on this button here. Automatically the program is executed. Here we are getting output like this. What is that output here we are getting there now? Hello user. That output here we are getting. Got it or not? That everything is okay. But only the problem is not from my side. Problem is with IDE. Let me check once IDE, then I will reinstall this IDE again. I'll freshly download once again from internet. I'm going to use that. I think there is a problem with IDE only, not with any other one. No need to worry for this. Now this is what we are getting, like what exactly the application here we are preparing for this particular content. Right, sir. Anyway, just have given some steps in a practical view, but tomorrow one by one, once again, I'm going to prepare this application. Once again, I will show step by step to you. By that, we are able to get some clarity. Okay. All right, sir. Now, tomorrow also we have session there. Don't miss that one. Tomorrow, I will show once again this one, and I will give that internal flow of execution also. How this program is executed internally. That internal flow of execution also I will provide to you. By that, you are able to get some clarity. Then I will go for this another content there. Don't need to worry for this. Definitely, I will elaborate this total program. Once again, I will show this content here. In the middle, we structured there while creating XML document. Then I will show once again. No need to worry for this. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. We'll meet you tomorrow. Guys, and those who are attending in online, no need to worry for this. Then I'll explain this entire content once again. Once again, just attend for this, then you'll understand that everything. Not to worry for this. Thank you, guys.